All right, we're good to go. We are round number 2 on our new format for the webinars. We've long said goodbye to the GoToWebinar platform. It served us well, and we've found a better solution to help us stream on more channels, help us manage your comments better, and a lot more. So Brian saying, how can Jason be in 2 locations at once? Alex, welcome to the webinar here. All right, let's get things popping off. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. Webinar Wednesdays are tons of fun. I am Jason there on the left, and we're lucky to be joined by David Rocklin, who is the digital strategist here at Brilliant Directories and so much more. David, thanks for joining us today and webinar number 2 on the new platform.
Absolutely. Can you hear me all right?
Yep, coming in loud and clear.
Perfect. Yeah, as Jason mentioned, we've moved over to this new platform, said goodbye to GoToWebinar. We were with them for several years, but glad to have upgraded. Hopefully you all are seeing some improvements from that as well. Able to kind of multicast now, or all on the BD site, as well as YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and the Facebook group. So anywhere you are, you can be sure to catch these webinars live and the replays as well. But as always, so happy to be with you all for another webinar, Wednesday number 190 here.
190 and counting. And also, first webinar of November 2024 has passed by so quickly. We're almost at the end of the year. It's always a fun time. We always like to have some actually exciting webinars towards the end of the year with some prize giveaways and more. We are streaming on YouTube. So those of you joining us on YouTube, welcome. You can type in your comments. We'll be able to see them and respond to them. And if you're not subscribed to the Brilliant Directories YouTube channel, highly recommend it. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/YouTube. It's a great way to get updated and notified as soon as webinar replays are available, tips of the week, featured tutorials, and more. And also, when we stream on YouTube Live, the replay is immediately available, and we will post it in the Brilliant Directories Facebook group. Also invite you to join us there. You can head over to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook and click on that blue join button. I'm in there myself. Lots of productive and constructive conversations and discussions happening there. If you're stuck, if you have questions, it's a great place to get ideas to help you grow your community. Also want to mention, I see a lot of new names and faces in the webinar. Welcome. If you haven't already downloaded the Brilliant Directories app, it's a free app. It's a great way to take your Brilliant Directories site on the go with you. You can track new member signups, new revenue coming into your site, and more. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Apple app or Google app, depending on what type of device you have. And just a little bit for those of you joining us for the first time, welcome. A little bit about Webinar Wednesday. The BD team is pushing new updates into the platform week after week. A big shout out to the Brilliant Directories community. You guys provide us with lots of feature ideas, suggestions, ways to improve the platform. And the majority of the updates that we push are from your suggestions. So thank you for that. And in Webinar Wednesday, we like to cover some of those updates that can help you grow your community a bit faster. We'll cover topics such as how to increase traffic, converting visitors to members, revenue opportunities, and more. Today, we're going to have plenty of time for a Q&A. So if you're stuck on your site, have questions, need troubleshooting assistance, we'll always do the 5-minute test and see if we can help you with your site. And we should have plenty of time to answer a lot of questions today. All right, and before we dive into the Q&A session, we have a nice handful of BD Lab updates to share. I will breeze through this list, starting with the one at the top here. We've been announcing this for several weeks now. This update is related to your members when they want to cancel their membership plans with you, when they want to cancel their accounts with you. If members have free accounts, they can simply go to the section in their dashboard and click Close Account. If they have paid accounts, they can also close their account. The problem was if they paid for a monthly or a yearly plan, they technically have more time on the clocks. Up until now, they'd have to close their account immediately. This gives them the option to close their account for the subscription date they've already paid through. Let me show you where that is. We can head on over to the dashboard together. I actually have a sample site. So this is a member here, sample member on a demo site that we have. And if they go to their billing information, they can see their payment history, their subscriptions, etc. And if they go to manage account, there is a close my account section, best practices. This is here by default on all BD sites. That's best practices to always give your members this option. So now if they have a paid account and it's a subscription like a monthly or yearly and whatnot, they'll have two options. Not only will they have an option to close their account immediately, which was the older way and the current way it's always worked, they'll now have this additional option, which allows them to close the account automatically on the date they've already paid their subscription through. So in this case, this person had an annual plan. I signed up today, November 6th. And I'm already paid through 2025. So I'm going to choose to close this account on November 6th, 2025. Now, a few things happen when this happens. One is the user is still going to have access to their account through November 6th, 2025. What's really nice about this is they're going to have this reminder message at the top of their dashboard reminding them that their account is scheduled to be closed. What's even better is this button is here to keep my current plan active, and that will basically undo and reactivate their account and stop it from being canceled. So people who might think they want to cancel their account, they continue using your site. Instead of being canceled and closed right away, this will allow them to stick around with you just a bit longer, and they may choose to reactivate their account. So I'll go ahead and click this, and it's as if nothing ever happened. My subscription is still active. I'll be billed automatically again on my subscription renewal date, and you, the website owner, should be able to collect just a bit more revenue with that functionality in place. All right, next one here. This is related to Zapier and the API. We got a few recommendations for this. There is a new action where you can now automatically add contacts to your website's unsubscribed list. So if you're managing your unsubscribe list through third-party platforms or getting unsubscribe requests through third-party methods, you can update your BD site and send that data to your Brilliant Directory site so that they are added to your unsubscribe list. If you're not doing any of this stuff with APIs or Zapier, it's not something you need to worry about too much. But if you are using those tools, this is just one extra thing to be helpful for you. This next one here is also related to passing data in and out of your Brilliant Directories website, specifically with webhooks, which send data out from your Brilliant Directories website to third-party platforms. A lot of people use this to send like their blog posts to other platforms or include them in newsletters using other platforms. There is a new trigger for webhooks for posts. So when a post is created on your site, like a blog post or an event or a coupon, you might be sending that out from your site with a webhook. Up until now, every time that post was saved, that webhook would be triggered. So that same post would be shooting through the webhook over and over again every time there was an edit or save made to a post. There is now a setting to only trigger the webhook for posts the first time it's created, the first time it's saved. If you're using webhooks with your posts, this will be helpful for you now. Let me show you where that is. If we go to My Content and Edit Post Settings, and once you're here, you'll see all your different post types, whatever it might be, discussions, videos, website blog articles. You can click Edit on any one of these for these settings of that post type. And if we scroll down to additional settings, there is an option here, trigger webhook for initial saves or every save. So every save is the default way it's currently been working for webhooks and posts. But if you want to do it just on the initial save, this is super helpful. We've done previous webinars on webhooks, and we've had to create workarounds for I guess, defining when the initial save was or the initial creation of a post. It doesn't keep sending that data over and over again. Now you can just set this to initial save only, and the post data will only be sent once for that webhook always. So you never have to worry about sending the same post, like to your social media as an example. If you're sending a post directly to as a Facebook post or a Twitter post, it'll only do it once, no matter how many times you edit. I guess that's the best examples actually is if you're sending a post automatically to social media, but there are other use cases as well. All right, this next one, you can now upload .ttf files to your media manager. What that means is any custom fonts that you have, if you're not using any of the 800 plus Google fonts that come with your Brilliant Directories website, you can actually upload custom font family files to your media manager and then ask your site to use that font with CSS or however you want to reference those font families. This is not only helpful if you have custom fonts that aren't available in Google Fonts, but in some very rare cases, cases, there are requirements where you can't use Google Fonts because they're third party and you need to host everything locally. So for our friends in Europe or wherever that may apply, you now have the ability to upload your font files, which are .ttf files, to the Media Manager and then load them locally for your site. All right, these next 4 or 5 are actually coming soon, and these top 2 I'm super excited about. One of them is related to being to the text editor and being able to drag and drop the content blocks, as well as cloning content blocks. So I can actually show you a demo. This is coming soon. So for in the web page builder, we're all familiar more or less with some of the content blocks that are available here in the sidebar. And then, of course, you can edit the text and buttons however you like. So that's lots of fun. This is stuck here right now. I cannot move it anywhere else. And this was a shortcoming with the text editor. So with this update, while you're working in the text editor, you'll be able to click in here and you'll have these 2 new icons here. One of them is to move the content block, and one of them is to clone the content block. I'll start with cloning the content block. Maybe you've created some type of piece of content and you want to repeat it, but then change the text or the images on the next line, but you want everything to be uniform. That's a great reason to clone. Another thing is, let's say you have several calls to action, but you want to kind of distribute them throughout your landing page or a blog post, whatever it might be. What you can do here now is actually click the Move Content block, and it will find an available space inside the text editor, and you can actually move your content block wherever you'd like it placed, which is super helpful. Let's actually move this one here as well to the bottom of the page. And while it's very straightforward, it's a huge shortcoming with the text editor, I do admit, but this is coming soon, probably in probably a week or so, I'd say. Definitely by the next webinar, we'll be able to announce its release. And it's for any of the content blocks that you use from the right-hand side or that you've added to your text editor. Even better, this will also work with the text editor if you're creating emails or newsletters. So here's the newsletter or email template text editor. I've just dropped two in here. We'll go ahead and clone this one, and then we'll move this one up to the top up here. Now, when it moves, you'll notice that there are extra spaces that it creates, and that's by design. As we were playing around with this, it's much better when you move things or clone things that we provide you with that extra buffer space above or below. You can easily remove it with just using the backspace of your button, but that will allow you to get in between 2 different tables or content blocks if you're dragging them and you want to insert a paragraph or a title heading or something like that. If we just move this up here, it's going to create these extra spaces. But again, that is by design, so you can get in here and actually start typing in between if you need to. And that will also work on the front end. So if you're writing blog posts and you're using the pre-made elements, you'll be able to drag and drop the content blocks as needed in your blog posts. This next one here is related to the icon library that is part of the stock photos that we provide you guys in the admin area. There is an icon library. It's super helpful, especially creating landing pages. Like if you're going to advertise certain features that are available, it's also good for your email templates. And you will soon be able to choose the color of the icons you're downloading. Let me show you a quick example of that coming soon. So here we are in the Media Manager. You can also already see that we've been doing a few tests here. If you're not familiar with this, I highly recommend familiarizing yourself with the stock photo library option here. So when you click this, you have access to 5 stock photo libraries, totally free. You can find images on basically anything. We'll just type in dogs here. You can also choose the orientation. So if you want a vertical, or if you need some uniforms, these are different heights. If you need something more uniform, you can do square, and you can ensure that the images, wherever you're placing them, are always the same proportions, length and width. But this is related to the icon library one. We'll go ahead and click this, and you'll notice we have a color picker here instead of orientation. That's because the icons are always 200 by 200 pixels. And we can see here, I'll just type in dog, we'll get more results that way. So we have the dogs here. It comes default in black as the icon color. What we can do here is on the left-hand side, we'll have some of the colors from our design settings, our theme colors for your site. You'll be able to quick pick them here. So just choose this red and do a search. And you'll see here, when you download the icon, it will be in this color. So let's download this little puppy here together. And if we go back to our media manager, oops, looks like I hit a little snag there. There we go. We can see that the red puppy has been downloaded. And that's cool for the media manager. But what's even better is you'll be able to also use this in the web page builder. So what I've done in this case is I grabbed over the feature list for like 4 items in a row. And you can see here what I was building. I was using the icons, and there's some really amazing icons in that the icon library. Let's just continue working here. We'll choose some more icons. And let's go to the icon library. Let's search for support. And let's say you want to contact for support, and we'll choose this blue that is part of our theme. We'll do another search, and we'll go ahead and download this. And here it's adding it into the web page builder. So again, if you're making landing pages and you don't want to scour the internet to find these sorts of things, it's right at your fingertips in the admin area. And then lastly, it's going to also work with email templates. So if you're designing your email templates, you can use this the icon library. And we will search for, let's say, love. And we have here, this is a good one. And we'll use this orangey color here. Perfect. Look at this great icons here. Let's download this one here. And there it is right there. So it's a great way to animate your landing pages, your emails, and the color picker option for the icon library is already there, but the ability to choose the colors is coming soon. And again, by the next webinar, we should have that released, if not a bit sooner. All right, next one here. This will be available for all BV sites coming soon. On your members login, there'll be the ability to hide or show their passwords as they're typing in their passwords. That's really good user experience. Some people have more and more complicated passwords, and it's easier for them to see what they're typing in some cases. So as we're all familiar with, there'll be a show or hide password feature, and that's also going to be available when this is released, when you're logging into your Brilliant Directories admin area as well for website owners. And then last two here, languages and payment gateways. For these next 2 months of 2024, we're doing a sprint to add more default languages into the Brilliant Directories platform. That'll allow you to translate your site with one click into, currently we have French, German, Spanish, and English. Soon we're going to add more languages: Polish, Portuguese, Hindi, Italian, and more. We're also making a sprint to add more gateways into the Brilliant Directories platform, and also the ability to pay with like bank ACH transfers. So we're working on that right now. We're making a sprint to have more of these available before the end of the year. And as far as brand new payment gateways, the first one at the top of the list is Razorpay for India. We actually do have a lot of users in India, so we're making a push to get that out to them within this month of November. And we think with that update, we're creating a system so we can more easily include more payment gateways as time goes by. So let's see here. David, should we take a pause before should we go straight to the Q&As from here? Should we get any feedback, questions, or comments on these updates first?
I think, yeah, let's see if anybody has some feedback, positive, negative questions about any of these recent updates. Always love to hear it. Otherwise, yeah, we can move on into the open Q&A.
Perfect. So you guys can type in your questions. We'll look into the comments and we'll go ahead and read them off. If you'd like us to unmute your microphone, what's different than GoToWebinar, there isn't a raise your hand feature, but you can type in question and then we'll invite you to the stream so you can ask your question with your microphone. So let's see here. We do have some questions here. Mark's asking, I can put it on the screen here, any updates from Flowmattic? Great question there. We are in the Flowmattic marketplace now. Let's search for it together. If we can do that here. Here we go. I'll share this link with you. So if you're using Flowmattic, Mark, or anyone else, let me share this here. Let's see here. API integration is live. There we go. Here's the link. So they've added us to their integrations library. Flowmattic, if you're unfamiliar, is another Zapier or Pabbly. It's a way to sync two platforms together if you want to share data between two platforms. So Brilliant Directories is on here now. They have a great team there at Flowmattic. They helped us get on here pretty quickly. Let me share this link with everyone. And Mark, yeah, if you're using Flowmattic, give it a spin with the brilliant directories integration. And if there are any hiccups or anything like that, you can email us or the Flowmattic team. We're in contact with them so we can remedy any issues that might be coming that might arise from that. All right, let's get to some more questions here. All right, Jason is asking, in addition to adding business contact listings, can I import nonprofit organizations by category, for example, shelters? You certainly can. If you have a business directory or a local directory of different businesses, non-businesses like nonprofits, you can probably set up your category structure. Maybe one of your top level categories is nonprofit organization. And then the subcategories, Jason, could be the different, like not markets, but I guess the focuses of that nonprofit. For example, shelters, grants, whatever that nonprofits may be serving. So yeah, you could do that with the member category structure, and you can definitely import any type of listing data or business data into your site, including nonprofit organizations. All right, let's see here if we have, I'm going through the questions here. Yeah, feel free to type in any questions you guys have and we'll get to them. All right, we got one here from Olga, our good friend Olga. Olga is asking, and let me switch to this here. How can we make breadcrumbs show different titles? I understand that it's possible to change these in the SEO template. How can we show, say, county, city, subcategory, company name? So with the breadcrumbs, let's take a look at breadcrumbs together. I don't know off the top of my head all the breadcrumb variables that are available to use, but we'll just go here to coupons as an example. This is our demo site, and we'll see if there are breadcrumbs here. So what Olga is referring to are the breadcrumbs up here, and we can see we have home, coupons, and the name of the post up here. And it looks like she's wanting to add some extra information like county, city, subcategory, company name. Olga, I can't think off the top of my head how to get all those different variables in. I would recommend asking in the Facebook group because I'd like to take a deeper look at it with you, but also emailing the support team and see which, maybe they don't have all these available, but see which ones by default may be available to include as breadcrumbs. And then lastly, if you really were stuck, if there isn't a default way for some of these granular breadcrumbs that you're looking for, you could always create a custom widget that kind of pulls that information from the post data and then put it at the top of the page as like very simple scope for something like that. But if you can't check all the boxes with the default settings, that might be a workaround for you as well. Thank you for that question, Olga. All right. Another breadcrumb related question. I'll bring it up because it's similar. I would like to have zip code in breadcrumbs, and most people use zip code to search local in the US, I think. So I think you can have the city in the breadcrumbs, and I'll show you this one more time here. Let's go to John Smith's sample profile here. And we can see here we have the country, the state, the city, the top level category, and here. I don't know if there's one for zip code. I know that it gets to city, and cities are within zip codes, to my knowledge, or vice versa. But also something to ask in the Facebook group or email the support team. I do think off the top of my head, it does, the most granular it gets is the city name. But that's a good one to ask there. I don't have an exact answer on that one. All right, let's see. Say Brian here wrote question with two in all caps. So what we'll do, Brian, is I'm going to invite you to the stream, and then we'll unmute your microphone. So Brian, you should see a pop-up on your screen, and then once you join the stream, there you are. We'll add you to the stage with your mic. Let's give it a shot here.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Pretty good, and you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for joining the webinar.
Thank you. So my question is about leads. I basically have like 3 types of leads I want to offer for my site. One of them is going to be for guest list for nightclubs. The other will be for bottle service for nightclubs. And then also a third one for like people who want to go on a party bus. So I've made the get matched forms. I've cloned them and made them how I want them. I don't know if it's possible, but like, I know how you guys have like the workflows and everything. I only want like the guest list and the bottle service ones to go to, say, I mean, they ask different questions in each form, right? To get the information to send to them. But I only want those to be delivered to people that are of a specific top category and subcategory, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Could we take a look at your site? Is that possible?
Yeah. You know what it is, right?
It's
Bar and club.
Yeah, I think I have it. Bar and club. Okay. Do you have a page with the get matched form that you're talking about, the lead form?
I had them. Let me look at it real quick here.
Okay.
I had them on the homepage, but I took them off because it was being too confusing.
Okay. So let's give me a second here. I'll help you out.
It's under the.
Let's see if this page is here. Okay. So here's one of your get matched forms.
Yeah, it's actually under. It's the one is bottle dash service is the one.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So let's see here. Okay, is this a lead form or is this a custom form you've created?
I cloned the get matched form and then I just basically changed a few things on it.
Okay, let's take a look. This is good because we actually have been wanting to do kind of like a tutorial on the lead. So basically, if you guys are watching, he's got members in here that are nightclubs and other services like party bus services, and consumers are coming here and they want like bottle service at a nightclub and he only wants this lead to go to the nightclubs that offer bottle service. Let me do a couple things. Let me stop sharing my screen for just a quick moment here. See if I can do this. Okay. And let me go to your site and we can actually look at the lead settings together. And let me share my screen again. Okay, great. So let's go to your lead settings together, member leads. And if we go to lead settings, we go to auto match workflows. Let's see what we can do here. So you have a default one. What we're going to do is add another action. I'm not super familiar. I haven't been in here in a minute, but let's see here. Add this. Is this action active? And then you can create different lead flow rules for different membership plans. So these are all your membership plans. And what I'm seeing here is actually what we can do.
I haven't found a way to have it specify a specific form.
I think what you want to do is instead of specifying a form, what we want to do is create a hidden field.
Mm-hmm.
And that hidden field defines the top level category for the submission. So basically for bottle service on your site, what we would do is I could help you out a little bit more, maybe in the Facebook group, but if we go to your top level categories and search for bottle service.
Yeah, it would actually be it would be under venues, and then it would be the subcategory would be like nightclubs.
Oh, okay. So it's a sub level category.
Just the subcategory.
Okay.
Nightclubs.
So nightclubs would be the right here.
Yeah, nightclub. Yeah.
Okay. So what we would do is, in effect, and might not have enough time right here on this webinar, but what you want to do in your custom form is add a hidden value that says that this submission is going to be for the venue top level category.
Mm-hmm.
And effectively what we want to do is save the ID. So that's ID 10, just giving you a little bit of a roadmap here. And then the subcategory, what we want to do is the subcategory is going to be 70 as an example.
Okay.
And that way, when the lead is filled out, it's sending into the database that this is a lead for nightclub venues, right? And then it will get matched with any members who are assigned to this subcategory and top level category.
Makes sense. I just need to know do I add the subcategory and the category into the form, or do I just?
No, you got it right. So let me show you. I'm not going to do it correctly here because I just need a little bit more time to do the research. But if you go to the form manager and we look at your get matched form, and this is the bottle service one. Yeah, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a roadmap here. This isn't going to be the exact correct thing to do, but what you're going to do is add a field. I'm just going to add a field up here. Okay. It's going to be a hidden field. So what we're going to do is search for a hidden field right down here.
Mhm.
And what we're going to do, the database variable is going to be like profession ID. That's the top level category. I don't know if this is where I'm not sure if it's correct. The profession ID, and then the default value is going to be, if we go to your member categories, and you said it's venue. So the default, it's going to be 10. I'll actually save this here. So all we have to do after the webinar is you can email the support team, or I can check in the Facebook group. You just figure out what the database variable it is. So the default value is 10. And then we're going to add, let's save that.
One of them is profession ID and the other one's like rail service or something like that.
Exactly. I don't know if profession ID is the correct thing to use here, but this
Something close to that. Yeah.
You're right. I just don't know off the top of my head what that one is. And then you would do and we'll do the same thing here. This isn't correct, but you want to do rail services and then the ID, the default value. I think it was, let's see here. Your nightclubs is 70. So default value 70. So now when your lead form is submitted, it's going to pin the lead to these categories respectively when we have the right variables set up here. We should have documentation on it somewhere. Again, I just can't look it up on the fly here off the top of my head, but this is kind of the methodology that would get this done for you like this.
Sweet. I think I know where to go from here now that you tell me that.
Sure thing. And then let me just help you with one more thing before we move on. If I go back to this get match page, there might be a small clue if I just right click on this for the top level category and just check something out here.
I think it's list _ professions.
Okay. Sure. So it could be something like that. We can find it again, just in the webinar. I don't have too much time to look into it, but that's the path to get you on there. And again, now you can email the support team and say, I'm trying to define the top and sub-level category in my lead form. What are the variables to insert here? And then again, I think we have documentation on it, but I can't remember what to look up at the top of my head.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Good question there. There we go. Thank you, Brian, for that. All right, let's see here. Another criteria for matching. Okay, so Ted's asking, can you add more criteria for matching? Currently, it's just categories and locations. For example, annual level income. I would create a question for the member, what income levels they work with the search filler. Okay, so when you're matching leads, he's correct. So Ted is also talking about the get matched form. So the Brilliant Directories matching system will basically, despite the name and the email and the phone number of the consumer or end user entering it, it's going to find out the location and the category, and then it's going to match the user or the person who filled out the form with members who match that location and also match that category or service that the professional offers. By default, there aren't additional criteria that will actually match with the members. You can go one level deeper. You can do top category, sub-level category, and sub-level category. You can make things like annual income level a sub category so the person who is filling out the lead form can add that extra piece of criteria. But I will show you something that is actually helpful, Ted, that I think it's not for the lead matching, but it's for the searching. And this is the dynamic category filtering. And what this does is, if you have this add-on on the left-hand side, and we can see this picture here, what it will do is, and I'll close your question here so it's easier to see. So what it will do here is it will allow users, more like an Amazon search, if you're searching Kayak for airplane tickets and whatnot, you can actually click the criteria that you're looking for multiple subs. So the member has to match all the subcategories, and they'll see in the search results, it'll update dynamically all the criteria that a user is searching for. So with this, they'll be able to drill down for the type of member that they're looking for based on, again, some sub and sub level criteria and multiple levels of that. And then they can, of course, reach out to those members. And when you're doing the lead matching, there is also an option. Let me go back here to the add-ons. Let me share a link to this dynamic category filtering. I actually love this one, especially if your site doesn't have too many categories. It creates a nice experience for searching. If you have thousands of categories, I would stray away from this one because you don't want to see a list in the sidebar with thousands of categories. But this pairs well if you're doing it this way with the automatic lead matching. Let me show you this one here. And with the automatic lead matching, when you have automatic lead matching, when you're reaching out to a member on their profile page to create a lead to send them an inquiry, there is a checkbox that says, would you like to hear from other members who meet this criteria, basically who meet the top level and the sub level and the location. So if they're filtering in the search results to get what they need, and then they get to a member who meets that criteria, that extra button on their profile page that says, would you like to get matched with similar members, would effectively allow you to achieve that. Not exactly how you're asking it, but it'll get you one step closer. So I'll also share this link with you here. All right, we have some starred questions here. Let me see if I can get to some of these here. All right, Kurt's asking, good question here. Is there a way on mobile when a menu has submenus, they don't have to click on the plus sign? Instead, the whole line will drop down the list. I think potentially with some jQuery, let's take a look at it together. See if we could do a 5-minute test on that. So actually, here we are on our demo site. And let's just change this into a mobile view here real quick. Actually, I'm going to do this on give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can, let me switch things over real quick back to my our webinar demo site real quick. Perfect. Let's see back here. Yep, there we go. All right. So Kurt's asking what he's referring to, and we'll show you right here. So we do have a drop down here in this demo form. It's to donate to help. And if we go to here, we have here with the plus sign. And we can see here that you have to click the plus sign so that it's expanded. Let's see if we can, what's going on here. Yeah, there is like a little jQuery event here. It toggles it open and close. But what we could do, and let me just take a quick look here. And I think what it is it's a height thing. Let me just quickly see here what happens when we click this. Just a moment here, see if I can get you an answer. Okay. Let's see. Oh. Trying to see if we could use some CSS to get you a solution here. There we go. This one here is height 0. So if we set this to height auto, that should take care of it for you. And yeah, you just want to make sure you don't have too many, because then it's on a mobile device, you're just forcing people to scroll a lot. But what we can do is set this to height auto. I'll share this. What you want to do is come here to your design settings. I'll add it to the site so you can see what I'm doing. And in your custom CSS head, so I went to design settings, the last tab here, I'll drop in this little snippet of code here. We're going to put this here. It's height auto. And if we do a hard refresh, we can come here and, oh, that didn't do it there. Let me put an important here. All right. Do a couple more tests. Might need a little more love. There we go. So there we go. We can see it's there. If you wanted to remove the plus sign, there is something you can do here. What we would do is just go like this and do a display none. Important. Let's see if that works. Yeah, so that would then, there's nothing to toggle open or closed. This is bonus if you want to get rid of the plus and minus icons there. So I'll actually include both. So the display none is to hide the icon if you choose to. The other one is to auto have the height always open. It doesn't open or close. I'm going to pop this in here for you. You would, again, that's in the chat. Now let's see if it allowed me to send that. I don't think it allowed me to send that. Let's see. Does not like me sending that in the chat here. Let's try one more time. Try sending that. Oh, I'm in the.
You've got that in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you do. I was in the start section. Okay. So yeah, you would pop that into your additional CSS, save your changes, and you should have an outcome like this. So thank you for that question there. Okay, let's see. Don is asking, explain how to move customers from one category to another category. There are some limitations with this, but also some not. So let's go to the search members page. And if you want to move members from one category to another, I think right now it's basically based on their main top level category. So let's go here. This is a veterinarian. Here, I'll just click on them. And I'm going to update their top level category. Now, when you move their top level category, they're going to lose all their sub and sub-category associations because it works in a hierarchy. Sub-categories are under a subcategory and a subcategory is under a top level category. So if we're moving their entire top level category, the top of that chain there, they're going to lose their entire, all their sub and sub level category associations. But if we're switching their top level category, you can certainly do that here. So this is a site we've done a lot of import data tests on, but let's say all the veterinarians, we're going to move to pet store. I'm just going to, well, this person I selected, I'll hit yes, continue. And that should update them. Let's see here. And now they are the pet store top level category. If you go to member categories, now there are some tips and tricks that you can do. If you're deleting a sub-level category, let's actually just do this one as a thing. So if we delete this sub-level category, there's an option to assign the existing members to another sub-level category. So, and then I can choose another sub-level category that's under this top-level category hierarchy. I can't choose sub-level categories that aren't part of the top-level category that I am. So, if you are deleting a sub-level category, you can move the members in that process to reassign them if you choose, or you can just delete the sub-level category and the associations the members have with that. So that's another option for you as well. All right, good question there. Okay, let's see. Clayton's asking, how hard would it be to use Careerjet API to populate my site? Let's check out what Careerjet is. Sounds like a job listings, jobs board tool. Yeah, jobs in the USA, so on and so forth. API. Okay, so there's an API. So basically what he's looking to do is take the data from Careerjet and populate it into his Brilliant Directories website. So let's see if they're on Zapier. That would be the first thing. Careerjet. Let's see here. They're not on Zapier, but let's look at the API. Okay. Okay, it's not here. Anyways, you can do it with the Brilliant Directories API. Basically, what you would do is you tap into the Careerjet API. You get access to the job postings, and what you can do with the Brilliant Directories API. And let me get there with you here. I'll share this link. Let's go to endpoints. So in our support center, you can see all the API endpoints with Brilliant Directories. So we'll be having two platforms talk to each other, Careerjet and Brilliant Directories. And that usually happens with an API or through other methods. But effectively, what you'd want to do is create a single image post. That's your a blog article. That's like a single feature image. So that's your coupons, events, blog articles. What you're going to want to do is create with your Brilliant Directory single image post, and you're going to want to create a post on your Brilliant Directory site. So we're going to suck out that data from Careerjet's API, and then post the job postings using the create single posts API with Brilliant Directories. I'll share this with you. If they were on Zapier, you wouldn't have to do any coding for this. You would just kind of sync up two integrations. Let's see if they're on Pabbly. I'm curious myself. Careerjet API, Pabbly. Sometimes we'll see it there. Not seeing Careerjet. I would email Careerjet, ask them to get on Zapier, Pabbly, these other third-party tools. It'll make using their API a lot easier. Basically, just click it, click to kind of do the sync instead of doing any complicated coding. But yeah, effectively with the Brilliant Directories API and their API, you should be able to sync the data between the two platforms, Clayton. All right, Jason's asking, how often are the business contacts updating, meaning they have verified accurate name, phone, website, etc.? So by default, all of the listings have verified their information at some point in time. If that information has changed, it's not updated necessarily in real time. However, if that is important, we can do this together. If you go to the business data, what he's referring to is the tool to import business data records into your Brilliant Directories website. So let's just do a quick search here for, let's do immigration attorney. And primary category. There is an option here that they have updated their list, updated any part of their listing in the last 30 days. Now, this doesn't mean that we've verified their email address and phone number is working. It means that they've come and they have updated some piece of their information. It could be their about information. It could be a website URL. But if it's important to make sure that you have the closest to accurate information, make sure this one here is checked. Let's actually check it and then see how many results there are when we uncheck it. So there's 1,100 records. What we search, the entire United States for immigration attorneys as their primary category. Let's go back and let's uncheck last 30 days. So it was 1108. So we still got about 700 more records when we did that. So there's 700 who have not updated their records in any way, shape, or form in the last 30 days. So if you're looking for the most accurate, I would focus on primary category match. If we do related, you're going to see it's going to go bonkers. We'll do related category, and because it's not their primary, it's like their secondary category, right? The primary is their main focus of their business. So if remember, it was like 18. So now it went up to 32 because we did related category match. So they could be an attorney office and one thing they do is immigration, but it's not their primary. That's why we're seeing more results for that. So if you really want to kind of get the most accurate type of match, I would do primary, updated last 30 days, and make sure the preferred attributes are all checked. It'll do its best to get accurate data with regards to that. All right, let's keep things moving along here. All right, here's a good one from Malk. I'm in the UK and I want to try a ride-sharing service, not Uber, but just everyday folks. Let's say I'm in New York and I'm driving to Boston as a driver. Could I check if there are any people wanting a lift and I can offer a price for the ride share? Okay, so with Brilliant Directories, those are called on-demand like tracking services. You can actually, if you have an app idea for that, there's actually templates for apps that kind of emulate like Postmates or Uber. And it's for lots of things. It's, any courier service. There's lots of apps for courier templates for app builders that do courier services. BD is not one of those. However, what we have seen with Brilliant Directories is I have seen moving and shipping companies, they post leads for jobs, like I need to move freight from New York to Los Angeles, and people can bid or see those inquiries or leads. So if you're looking to intercept like Uber passengers, I don't think Brilliant Directories would be a good platform for that. But again, we have seen people use Brilliant Directories to get quotes. And what I've seen for moving quotes, both commercial and consumer freight moving quotes in that sense. So yeah, not a good application for BD. But if we Google, let's just take it one step further. If we look up Uber clone app template, and I could do stuff like that. And here you go. So your own rideshare app, Uber clone. There's a ton of these out there. You can search something like that. And for most popular apps, there's usually template clones. But the crux of the app is very similar. You're matching two people in a marketplace, then tracking their destination with directions and geo mapping. It's just, are you going to get popular or not is the question. All right, but good question there. Thank you for that. All right. All right. Steve's got a question here. I wish I could get a member address in the transaction history download, or I'd like to see the membership expiration date in my members download. This is only available in the transaction history download, but there is no member mailing address, which I also need. So Steve is chatting about, and let's go. Let's close this down. So he's saying, let's do one more time. Get the member addresses in the transaction history. Let's go to the transaction history here. Or I would like to see the membership expiration date in my member download. So that would be two different things. Let's look at that. So when we're looking here, yeah, I mean, this is meant to be kind of like a compact view here. What would be helpful is when you clicked on quick edit, actually, now that we're looking at it, you don't see any address information here. You kind of just get their membership plan information. That's actually a good suggestion there. I'm going to write that down, actually. Quick edit, show address fields. Yeah, this is meant to be compact to see the address. Yeah, they might be able to look into that. But then you're asking also the membership expiration date. We do have the search subscriptions page here, and these are for any active subscriptions separate from one-off payments like when a member makes a lead and whatnot. And there isn't necessarily an expiration date because these subscriptions go indefinitely. What there is a next payment date. So actually what would be good to know, there isn't an export here either. There's an export here. You can export the current list. It'll basically give you a stream of your transactions in chronological order. But what would be helpful is, I see what you're saying. When exporting transactions, include the subscription name, product, or subscription ID, and also the next bill date. That's I think what you would find helpful. So we'll make a note of that. I'll pass that on to the team, Steve. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Do we have any other questions lined up here, David? How are we doing on time? We're just about at that hour here. Yeah, address should be attached to the member downloads for mailing. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. So also include when exporting from the transactions page, the mailing address or the address for the member on file. Awesome. All right, good. Yeah, Steve, there's a reaction to that. He had a woohoo there. Super. All right, let's see here. I think that covers it. I don't see any more questions up. Feel free, if we missed your question, type in a fresh question. That kind of helps us out a bit. See your question. Let's see here. When we go to quick edit member, can we add an optional checkbox under advanced option labeled test member so the system hides it from the public? So what I would recommend is if you have test members and you don't want them to be seen, create a membership plan. I'll show you what I mean here. And set your membership plan to non-searchable. We can see it here. Your admin blog author is non-searchable here. If you're doing tests, you might want to set it to searchable just temporarily. The other thing you can do, now that I'm thinking about it, so non-searchable basically means that no one's going to see this member publicly on the site. It's just an internal member in your database. But there is a, let's go here together. There's an add-on actually, and people don't use it much, but it is for some unique cases, hidden member profiles. With the hidden member profiles, you can choose which members can see other members. And actually LinkedIn does a version of this where, only their higher tiered premium members can see certain types of profiles or accounts or search for different types of members on LinkedIn or something to that extent. So, in this case, maybe job seekers, let's say you have a job search website, job seekers can't search other job seekers, but they can search for employers and job opportunities, and they have a public profile, but only the employer members the company members can see the job seeker profiles. The job seekers can't see each other's profiles, as an example. I'm going to share this link here with you. But this might be something you want to do if you have a test member. I just think, do the thing where it's searchable and non-searchable is probably the easiest thing. But if you wanted to take it a step further, you can check out the hidden member profiles. And actually, David, we don't even have a video on this add-on here, and I think it's a bit obscure what it's for and some of the use cases. This might be a good tip of the week, is to provide 3 or 4 use cases when this add-on is applicable and actually very helpful for a website. So that's a good one there. All right, and let's see here. All right, we got one more question here. Can we add a drop down in the footer menu like we have in the header? Great for SEO, Angie.com. Let's check out Angie.com together. Okay, Angie, formerly Angie's List. All right, so if we scroll to the footer here, don't really see a drop down. I know what you mean. Basically, you can do an accordion toggle is the first thing that comes to my mind. Yeah, there isn't any default way. You definitely, with CSS and Bootstrap accordions and things like that, you can certainly do that. And you can add it to the footer. It'll basically collapse and open up, just like we saw with the mobile menu. It'll open and collapse links. If you want to ask in the Facebook group, that'd be a good one. Don't see it here in the Angie menu, but I definitely understand what you're referring to there. Love this question from Tony. Is there a way to get the emails from people who leave reviews, such as export them or have them automatically go in your contacts? So, Tony, are you referring to, you can leave another comment, are you referring to the contacts who leave reviews for your members? Like if I'm going to write a review for John Smith here? If so, yeah, these reviews here, they're in your database. If we go to interactions, member reviews, what we're looking to do actually soon, so we can see that this person left a review for this member, sample 1. So what we're looking to do in a few different places is convert to member. So people who leave reviews or member leads or who just fill out like your contact us form in the forms inbox, what we want to do is have a convert to member button. And effectively what that's going to do is it's going to pop up this. So if you click convert to member, it's going to do the same thing as this add new member field, but it's going to pre-fill their email address and name, whatever information we have from the source. But you'll still be able to choose the membership plan if you're converting them to a member and whatnot. So right now, the easiest thing, if you just want to just copy the email address and just hit add new member. You just be doing that, and it'll add them as a member. You just make a password for them, and you can email them, set them to a general user or whatever makes sense for your site. You can also create workflows on Zapier, which will automatically create the member for you, the user for you. You would webhook out, if you're looking for the technical method, you would webhook out the review submission, and the action would be create a user with tools like Zapier. So if you want more information on that, you can email the support team or ask in the Facebook group as well. All right, we got a ton more questions coming in here. Okay. All right, Jay Johnson, I want to thank you for the support. You're working so hard. Yeah, we're grateful for you guys too. These webinars are tons of fun. We get to all learn a lot together. We got one more question from Ted here. If I were to do a custom search tool using an outside app that we iframe onto a page, okay, so what he's talking about is create a custom search tool, putting it on a third-party website, could be another like a WordPress site or something else. Can we call the database to help us match based on the member profile information and do the manual matching outside the BD forms? So what you can do is this, actually. Let me make your job a lot easier for you, Ted. If you're looking to put lead forms on third-party sites, we actually did a webinar on this. What you can do, I'm just going to search Jotform here. You can use other form builders like Jotform. There's Typeform, Jotform, and basically they're basically tools to create forms and put them anywhere on the internet. I'm going to share this video here. And what you can do is create a form, put it anywhere on the internet. And in this video, we show you how to create a lead in your in your Brilliant Directory site using these forms. So you can have third-party forms, put them around the internet, and have the data create a lead in your system, and it'll do the automatic lead matching. Let me just quickly show you one more thing. Zapier create lead, Brilliant Directories. This will take care of all the heavy lifting. You can use Zapier, Pabbly, Flowmattic, Integrately, create new leads in Brilliant Directories from new form submissions. So here, form submission, create lead. I'll even share this link here for you. The same methodology would work. So you can definitely have forms around the internet using third-party, form tools, Typeform, Jotform, any other Zoho forms, and have those feed into your Brilliant Directories website as leads. You can even do it for Facebook forms, because let me go back here. If we do Zapier create lead from Facebook lead form, I think they have it here. Yeah, leads add integration. So here, Facebook lead adds to Brilliant Directory. So if people are on Facebook filling out the lead form Facebook, that's the trigger, and then you can create a lead on your BD site, and that will add it with your members. I'll even share this this link here for you as well. Good questions there, guys. All right, Terry's asking a really good question. I added a business to my site. How do I email them to let them know about my site? We could do that in 2 steps. On your search members page here, Terry, well, one thing you can do is you can set up a newsletter campaign. So I'll show you 2 ways. Let's say you added 1 member. What we can do is we can go to actions. We can compose an email. We can send a one-off email to them, and we could just write whatever we want manually, or you can choose from the templates here, account activated, and it'll say they're activated. You can make a custom template and select that one and say, hey, we've added you to your site. You're XYZ business of the year, and we've added you as a premium member to our site, and you can add links to them. Let me show you one step further, something you can do, because effectively what you're doing is asking them to claim their listing if you've just gone ahead and added them to your site. I'm going to share with you 2 things, Terry, that'll be valuable for you. Let me search for claim in our blog here. One is we have best practices when you're doing this, when you're adding importing business records to your site, and then you want to notify them. So this is best practices, and I'll take it one step further for you. We actually have email template samples. So when you're reaching out to them, it actually tells, it kind of says, why you've added them to your site, and includes the variables that line up with the variables available in your Brilliant Directories website. So I'll share this as well. Good question there, Terry. Thank you for that. All right. I think let's end it on a high note here, guys. What a great webinar, great attendance rate, great questions. We should have a tip of the week in the next webinar. And guys, next webinar, I bet we'll be giving out an iPad. So the next webinar will be in 2 weeks. Join us. We'll have an iPad contest going on, and we want to make sure you get entered. We will post details of that in the Facebook group. Let me go here real quick. So you go to just make sure you're a member of the Brilliant Directories Facebook group. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. Sometime this month in November, we will be doing an iPad giveaway. As long as you're part of that Facebook group, we'll make sure that you have a chance to enter the contest. And for those of you who joined us on YouTube, it was great to be with you. We got all your comments in here, which is great. And we will post the replay in the Facebook group just shortly after this webinar ends. So on behalf of myself, David, and the entire Brilliant Directories family, we love you guys. It's been a great webinar. The next webinar will be in 2 weeks, and we will catch you then. Have a great day and a brilliant week. Take care, guys.